So we've got some questions.
And the first one is about Halloween. You know, it's coming up, Pat.
I do know it's coming
And
up.
Amy wants to know, should Christians celebrate Halloween? What do we need to know about Halloween to protect ourselves and our families?
Okay, Amy, Halloween is the devil's holiday. You've got witches and ghouls and goblins. That's all witches. In the Druids had Halloween. It was All Saints. The Catholic Church sanctified it, but it was a feast for the devil. That's what it amounted to. Okay.
Wow. What about kids going trick or treating? Is that okay?
Trick or treat stuff. I mean, if people didn't give something, then they kill one of their animals. I mean, it was serious. It wouldn't just give me some candy and I'll put, But anyhow, you say, what the Christians do it? I think, okay, rather than weighing in against the evils of Halloween, I think churches should have parties. There's no reason not to have stuff like apple bobbing and pin the tail on the donkey and all that stuff. And you've got, something you can hit with a stick. And you have all those games you can play. By all means, open the church and bring in all the neighborhood kids. And then don't go out with all the witches and goblins and all the other foolishness that is pagan in origin. All right.
Dress up like your favorite Bible character, maybe.
Amen. Okay, dress up. All right, dress up like Abraham. Dress up like Abraham.
Hey there, before we dive into the writer's room, we were so eager to dive in this week that we forgot to go over what exactly a writer's room is for our new members. For the context of this channel, the writer's room segment is basically a writing exercise. Every week we analyze a show or a movie, and then we come together to figure out, what would we as a team write if we had control over this story. So the writer's room segment works like this. We each come with about 2 pitches. If there's 3 of us, 3 pitches if there's 2 of us that week. And one of us is going to be deemed showrunner, and that person, they are in charge of if there's a tough decision that needs to be made, like me and another person disagree, it's up to the showrunner to figure out the direction of the show. Their job is to make sure to control the ship and to make sure we are heading in a singular direction. And that's the fun of it. We basically brainstorm for a little half of the segment, and then we do an outline for the rest of the segment. This week is particularly special because we are doing Monster Squad, and that required a page 1 rewrite, so we didn't even do pitches this week. Instead, we had to start with characters and then build a broader idea from there. It was a lot of fun. I hope you all enjoy the segment. Please hit subscribe while you're here and help us build the channel and keep doing this writing-based content. And if you have ideas for the story, please put them in the comments. We'd love to hear your notes. We'd love to hear your pitches. Now, with all that being said, let's get to writing. I am not excited for this room, guys. This is the first
I'm
time
excited. There's a lot I can be. No. By the time we're done with this, they're going to have to hire us to make this movie.
This is going to be great. Oh, we're going to make this movie for sure.
Okay.
We're the Monster Squad. Now get out of here, pussy. And
Yeah.
like high five.
High five. Yeah.
Okay, so I did actually think about this. Brian vested in me, showrunner, on this. And so I want to kind of calibrate it as we move forward for this remake because, look, I wouldn't change a thing. but maybe we should. I don't know. Sensibilities. For all the soy boys out there. So I think a good way of looking at this, and Brian, I would love to this is kind of your opportunity here to help us because this is something you specialize in. They want the characters to be archetypes. And I think that maybe the way to start it off is what is it that we're actually trying to sell? What are they actually trying to do? How can these, because what we should do and what is necessary, and I say this as someone who has adapted, done reboots, who has literally written reboots, you do have to respect the source material. No matter how you feel about it, you simply must respect it on some level. So what do we see the archetypes being? Then how can we make this? Because I honestly, The plot of monsters coming back every 100 years, I think, is a fair plot. Like, I don't think that was not the problem.
Oh yeah, no. I thought the 100 years thing was fine, and I thought that worked out really well. I guess let's start with the main character, so Sean over here, and then we can build around him the foils and
Yeah.
what would work for him. So, what would be a good way to build out this character? Do we want
So
him to be
I
like
was I was
maybe? Oh,
thinking
go ahead.
I was thinking shonen protagonist. I think that's because you made a really excellent point when we talked in the pre-show, which is like they don't really give him anything to do, so he's a little bit like a vessel, and I feel like that gives him like the opportunity for like shonen protagonist vibes to make him redeemable at least.
Yeah, I mean, and that ties into something that I was thinking that like we can have like maybe a bit of the moral of his thing is like he's kind of like the curiosity killed the cat of like everyone's in danger because he was poking his nose into things that shouldn't have been
Well,
done. And then go ahead.
one thing I want to point out, so in the movie, what he is seeing is that his parents are going through a divorce, right?
Yeah,
And when he
literally.
hears his mom blaming the dad, you're too married to your job. I feel like this kid's motivation were like, if I solve this case for my dad, which means he'll have more time with my mom,
Ooh,
therefore they're together,
I like that.
So
I like that.
I think that's
So
where
then-
like the thing that's missing, and I feel like that might be like one of the original tension of the script, right? Like just like when you're watching it and you can see like the foundations is like a lot of it's there, but it didn't execute well, right? Because the entire time I was thinking, is like, why the kids are the only ones to have to solve it, when like,
Yeah, that's true.
why the kids, right? And I can't help but feel like his motivation is like, if I do this, that means like my dad will have more time with my mom and she won't be angry at all.
I like that a lot.
I like
So-
that too. I do too. So if we look on that vector too, maybe the reason he's into like monsters and stuff like that, other than just monsters, is because it's an escape for him because of the troubles that are happening, like the divorce and stuff like that. And so he kind of like goes into that world. Because one of the things I would like to do is I do want to keep its incel energy a little bit, but I want to like focus it correctly because I don't think it would be good to just like wholly throw out what it was trying to do, but rather like change what is negative into a positive that can be done properly, if that makes sense.
I mean, it calls me part of it too, right? Like, his want is like, gotta solve the case, but
Yeah.
he also discovers like, oh, I gotta be a better person, or I can't be like a closeted, some guy who's always like reading books all day. I gotta like actually socialize, so.
Right. And that kind of goes into a little bit of what I wanted to talk about with Rudolph, which is, I think that's what he's supposed to represent. Like, he is the one who is the doer. Like, he's the more mature one. He's the rebel. Like, he is the one who kind of like helps the kids grow up, probably because he has issues at home too.
Would you think he'd be like, oh, someone mentor, right? Kind of like he's like the one who's telling Sean, like, you can't do this, or you gotta treat women this way, or whatever? Or is it more like he's like the ultimate incel and he's kind of like influencing him more?
I think it's more the former than the latter, which is it's a good question. I do think that he's like problematic, but I would argue that like maybe we angle his problematic behavior from like maybe he was like a kid that had to grow up too fast and he like has problems like connecting, because that is a little bit in there as well, in that like I forget who said it, but like why is he even with the group? And it's clearly because even though he's a good person, he has trouble connecting with his peers.
Yeah, it's kind of like the one kid in Craig of the Creek, there that
Yeah.
I think his name was like JP or something like that. Like he's like the older kid. Like all the kids were like in elementary school, but he's like the one guy in like middle school. So
Right. And he even says like when he goes to like self-sacrifice, he's like, I'm part of the group. And I think that like that was another probably like Shane Black thing, where it's just like that was probably what it originally was supposed to be, is like he didn't have a group or a crew, even though he was a good person. He was like a lone wolf sort of thing. I do believe that's like a little bit of like the point of him being there, even though they don't do it in the movie. They don't explain it like at all.
I mean, that works since most incels are just desperately searching for community. So I think that
Right.
works thematically for what you're going for.
do you think like this movie will start like with just Sean by himself? Then he has to like slowly gather the squad and create the squad, or do we want him, or do we want like
That would
him
be-
to have these friends from the beginning.
That's nice. I mean, that gives it a more modern twist. Whereas, like in the '80s, you did have like the freaks and the geeks, and they're clearly the freaks. Oh, excuse me, they're the geeks. They're the geeks. They're the geeks. Rudy is the freak.
And then the other thing on that, what else that gets you is that would also have Sean in isolation too. Sean would also be
Yeah.
isolated. So like all their problems could be stemming from an isolation, and Sean building this club accidentally solves that problem that they didn't
love that.
realize was the real rub of what they were having, was that the isolation.
I love that. And maybe they don't like each other at the beginning, but like it is in Sean's trying to solve the case that kind of brings it together and creates community. Because I think that, again, that's a little bit more modern. Like the people just don't have their tribes to be with, right? Yeah, I think that's a really great point, Brian.
And I feel like that kind of addresses my like main point of this movie is like the monsters do nothing. So it'd be interesting if like each of the individual monsters somehow affects like one person in the group.
Oh, that's cool.
As Sean is like trying to gather the team, like one person like, oh shoot, like the Black Lagoon monster like just popped out of my pool, or another person was like, yeah, my dad worked at the museum, now he's fired because the mummy's missing, So it's like,
That's
so
cool.
it's them like is Sean like finding each kid who's been affected by these monsters some way, and that's how he's getting the squad together.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah, me too. See, we're pulling it together.
That's why I feel like the monsters like present some danger to the kids, that's I feel like that will help address that problem I had.
So if Sean is the overly ambitious and curious or
He's a Naruto.
impulsive, yes, then what we need to give next to him in the best friend should be a cautious overthinker.
Because two of his friends are like blank slates, so it would be good to give one of them personality.
I
Yes.
don't remember who they are.
Well, I haven't pointed this out, and with permission, showrunner, I think we should cut the one kid who had the mummy situation of the bedroom, because the guy didn't really do anything. So I think the two friends that we should keep are the one that's indistinguishable from Sean and Horace.
Yes, I'm with you, because the mummy that goes nowhere. We do need to have the mummy scene though. He's like,
yes,
we're just gonna choose another character. Oh, monsters, whatever. Get to bed, pussy.
I feel like there's a way to do that scene, but with Rudy maybe. Like the kids like are trying to tell him there's a monster there, and like Rudy is being like condescending. Oh, there's a monster, and then he's like doing everything the same exact way.
Yeah, that's fun.
Then he hears the growl, and he's like,
yeah, it actually plays out.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. And there is one thing we must have. I want the line where they send Dracula, wherever they send Dracula to be. I want it to be a 2-year-old whose first words are, "See you in hell, cocksucker."
what?
That's what they do in the movie. That's what they do in the original.
The little sister just chases them around everywhere, and she just learns all the bad words from them.
Right, and all she does is swear.
Yeah.
Phil, for the little sister, what do you think of doing a Kyrie play from Digimon? Because Kyrie went missing, and a big part of Kari, yes. She went missing, and Ty's whole thing was trying to find her and get her back. And that could be how she bonds with Frankie. And
that's fun. That gives Frankie a reason.
Yeah,
yes.
A reason. But I also feel like that's how Sean gets roped into this whole thing,
Yeah, because it can also be Sean's fault that she gets like kidnapped.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
Sean's
like, I gotta solve this case, so that way my parents could be together. The mom's like, take your little sister with you, but mom, no buts.
Yeah, and then like because of that, and and like that's fun too, because that's the only person that he has, and like then she gets like shanghaied.
Shanghaied.
There's also like, and I don't know how funny we want to get with the monsters. It would also be very funny because now that they kidnapped the baby, they have to babysit. So there could be a lot of fun there if we wanted to have some silliness.
I do like that, and I like that for Frankie. I do want the villains. I
Mhm.
do want the monsters to be a little menacing.
Okay, so you want to lean more into the scary. Got it.
I don't mind that for Frankie though. Like
Ooh.
I don't mind
Yeah,
having
yeah, no.
Frankie have to deal with that. That's funny to me. Like, but I do. I would
Okay.
like the villain. Some of the villains to be like menacing. Oh, Yusuf, it was so funny. I was talking to Brian before he saw this, and he was like, is this like a Stranger Things like thing where the kids are ill equipped to handle the monsters?" Like, oh no, these kids know. These kids know what to do with monsters. Oh, they don't handle monsters. Don't worry about the monsters.
Shoot them.
Right?
Yeah,
Right.
shoot, that's the case. We live in America, people. Come on, everyone has
Right.
guns.
Thank you for killing. When Werewolf's like, thank you for killing me.
Yeah, thank you for killing me. That's right. Yeah, we forgot to mention the plot summary. How like this guy like first time we see him, he's in the police station. It's just like punching everyone. It's like you gotta throw me in jail. I'm a werewolf. I'm like, yo, this guy's crazy. Then he saw the full moon and turned into a werewolf. So then at one point he went back to being a human. And he was tied up by Dracula, but like he called up somebody, just like, you gotta save me, you gotta kill me.
Which I wouldn't mind keeping that guy's human form. I did kind
I
of
like
like
that.
the way they
Yeah.
did the werewolf.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like
Okay,
that
so
he's a person that's. I like that he has like an inner monster, like he has like a Hulk sort of thing where he's just like he doesn't.
Yes.
He's being compelled to do something that he doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
There were things that I thought were interesting. I just
Yeah.
didn't pull them off.
Well, I mean, this might be like too much of a lore thing. It's like perhaps Dracula only like because he's Dracula, he's able to like control monsters, right? But when the werewolf, like when he's a human, Dracula can't control him. But the moment he
Mhm.
changes, that's where Dracula has power over him, So maybe that's like we could find some explanation how Dracula could just only control monsters and not humans.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Okay.
It's monster powers.
Doesn't Dracula have hypnosis ability?
Yeah,
Yes.
but the thing about vampires, we could come up with whatever rules we want, so we don't have to like.
Mhm.
There's no like set lore or legend about any
Gotcha.
kind of vampire anywhere. It's just whatever we decide.
So what do we want to do with Horace then? We're our last two
Brian,
friends that we got to get a little bit of. Oh, go ahead.
You're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me for this, for me suggesting this.
Go ahead.
But Dracula cannot control virgins.
He has no power over virgins.
No power over virgins.
That doesn't necessarily fit with the incel metaphor because usually the most evil person is very good at controlling virgins. So just saying, very, very funny. That is my only thought for you to consider.
Okay, I knew it was gonna be turned down, but I just had to say it.
Oh no, I'm not showrunner. I can't turn it down.
Let's see how it plays out. I do think that Horace should still be overweight because I do think that like we kind of ignore that sort of thing now, and I do think it's good to like. I think we do need to find a way forward to kind of like express that.
Also, doesn't have to be a boy if we wanted to add another girl to this team.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay, so are we going with like kind of comedic relief for this character? Like he's a funny guy or she's a funny person?
What do we think?
Let's see. There are somewhat funny lines in the movie where he's like, we could go like study art or we could study architecture. Like we could be a different kind of club, guys. So I feel like maybe like he's a bit of a coward and he's constantly trying to talk the group into doing something else.
That's funny.
Yeah, but then I don't see him being that different from like Joe, since he's like the cautious overthinker. Like I feel like the cautious guy would make that comment. Like it's like I don't think we should.
Yep, that's a good point.
So that's the thing.
So what do you got for other friend?
Well, I mean, in terms of like comedic relief, like if he's still gonna be like kind of like the overweight kid, like I feel like him being a comedic relief might be good because like or she or they, it's just because self-deprecating is like a defense mechanism, so like this person could just like constantly make fun of themselves or like make fun of other people, like constantly make these jokes just to like get through life because that's the only way they could live in such a crappy life is by constantly making jokes because it makes them laugh and makes other people laugh.
What if he's like a sick dancer? Like
What is
we
a
just
sick dancer?
completely ignore the
He's a
overweight
sick
thing.
dancer.
He
like really good at it.
happens.
Gotcha.
He happens to be overweight, but he's a killer dancer, and no one acknowledges the weight thing.
I do want to acknowledge the weight thing because I don't want to pretend like it doesn't exist. I do like the idea of him being like a sick dancer to kind of like show that. I don't know. It's like I don't want to pretend like it doesn't exist.
Fair enough.
Oh my god,
That could be like Go ahead.
He could teach Frankenstein how to dance.
Well, that and like a monster we could be like trying to get him, and they're not quick enough because his dancing moves are too good.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, that's really
Yes.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I want it to be a thing where, and the reason I wanted to keep that in is like, I don't, like, that's what we do now is we just like pretend like, like instead of like empowering and saying like, yeah, you can be, despite what people say about you, like look at how accomplished you can be, you know? And also I feel like they have like big girls now is kind of the thing. So I would like Horace to be a boy still. Maybe we can have the Joe character be the other girl.
Okay. The other thing that I'd say about this is like, because if we are basically showing that he's really, really quick at the end of the movie, like speed is going to be his specialty, we could like have him being mocked by other kids, being bullied for like being slow on the track field. And the kind of the idea of it's going to be of like, there's different ways to measure speed.
Yeah.
Why are you only looking at running?
Yeah, I love that.
He's not fast, but he's sure agile.
Yeah, exactly. He lied on his feet.
Great. Okay, and then the last member of the crew, unless we also want to go into the old guy, would be the friend's sister, who is treated very poorly by the Monster Squad.
Yeah, she is. She is. What if we made her a boy?
Oh, Rudy staring at boys, taking pictures of boys. JJ.
Phil, you're
it's so funny you
showrunner. If you
mentioned
want to do that, like
what's funny to Yusuf and Brian, that you're there was part of me that was like, is Rudy gay? Like, is Rudy actually like boys?
I mean, we can do that. I'm not opposed to it if we wanted to make the friend's hot sibling be a boy, and then that can be a love arc for Rudy and the boy.
He's a very the friend sibling is a very confident gay man and meets Rudy and just like, I'm gonna help you with your career journey.
Hilarious. That's funny. That's very funny. I don't want to lose a female character. Maybe, yeah, and it's like we can add a character. We can add characters too. Like, so maybe he has like his best gal pal too, if that makes sense.
What about like Horace? We could like make Horace gay, and they can help Rudy with this journey. We can keep this. We don't have to have a romance between Horace and Rudy, but Horace could be super confident in his identity and help Rudy out.
I like that.
And then
That's fun.
that keeps us the friend's sister.
Okay. One thing I want to kind of avoid is like having the friend sister like smitten by Rudy, and find out that like he was gay at the end.
No.
I mean, I don't know.
That's real though. That's real though. No,
it is.
Yeah,
but I'm also thinking like
Paranorman.
I'm just thinking Paranorman, right? Like
They do that in Paranorman.
yeah,
right?
that's what they did in Paranorman. So I kind of want to avoid that. I just want to repeat something that another more superior movie did.
You want to pay homage, is what you're saying.
I mean, I guess we can.
Okay. We still need to get into the sister's personality a little bit. Although I do feel like when the running thing happens with
the friend's sister or
Sorry.
Sean's sister?
Friend's sister. Because
Okay.
we already got we got little sister down over here since we're basing her on Kari.
Well, what if the friend's
The
sister? Now that I'm
friend's
thinking
sister.
about it, yeah. What if the friend's sister is also kind of like, dude, I know you're gay, and he's like trying to overcompensate. Like Rudy's trying to be like, oh yeah, I love chicks, and he's like, girl, and he's like, and she's like, girl. Yeah, I think she should be more than like hot girl.
So you want the like very smart people person.
She doesn't have to be smart, but I do like her being a people person because we have the Joe character is kind of smart.
What do you guys think of this pitch to come at it from a different angle? What if Rudy was less of a mentor and more like the mysterious anime character that keeps showing up and helping out occasionally and then disappearing and they don't really know much about him? And it's the friend's sister that's helping Sean social emotionally to like build this team and to work with others. So the sister could be more the mentor character than Rudy, and Rudy just becomes more mysterious.
What do you think? What do you feel like we gain from that?
So if we're giving the friend's sister the people skills, she is going to be the only socially adept person in this crew.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So that's why I kind of see her in a leader or mentorish role with these children.
If we're going with the whole like incel angle / message, do we feel like these boys will even bother listening to a girl about things, or you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like,
that's kind of what I'm getting caught up on. I mean, She can serve. It can be a dual role, can't it? Right? Like she can be a mentor, like sort of thing. Like, and we can play off of to your point, Yusuf. We can play off of the fact that they're like, why would we listen to this girl? And she's like way more
Yeah, I think much to your point,
socially
like,
adept.
I think, like, yeah, why should we listen to a girl that she does something that changes her mind and you're like, oh shit, I guess we should follow her.
So still have her be a mentor sort of character. But I
Yeah.
mean, basically what we're doing is like we're fleshing her out and giving her more to do. And they ask like, "Are you a virgin?" And she's like, "Don't ask that question. Like that's it's extraordinarily inappropriate. This is
That
why
is
nobody
very
likes you."
appropriate.
Right. This is why nobody likes you guys. Do we want to talk about the Joe character?
The best friend, yes.
Yeah, and flesh her out a little bit.
Okay.
So we're saying that she's like hyper analytic. Is she kind of like she knows the most about monsters and all of that?
Okay. Yeah, I like that, like an encyclopedia
Yeah.
on monsters.
Because he's like the shonen, like, right? Sean is like the shonen protagonist, so he knows about monsters, but like she has like an encyclopedic knowledge of it.
I could see her being the one who was like, well, Dracula wasn't really a vampire at first. He was like just this weird anomaly and blah, blah, blah. Vampires, as in the word, didn't come until like whatever. So,
Yeah, that's fun.
An over-explainer.
yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely an over-explainer,
She's going to be asked, how do you make monsters boring?
yeah. Yeah, right. That's funny. And I feel like she's the only one that reads.
Yeah.
She
need
said
a-
she reads it.
I kind of want there to be a part like sometime near the end or whatever. He's like, how do we do this? Well, first of all, you got to do this. Explain very simple. Steak, heart, die. Okay.
That's great. Stay hard die. Okay, we can do that. We still need to have, we can't say nards, we can say balls, but like she should be the one that says like, what do we do? I don't know. It's like we need silver balls. We don't have silver balls. Kick him in the balls. And it's like, oh my god, that worked.
Oh my God. The werewolf has nards.
That's so funny.
And so here's a question too, before we jump into, I feel like, unless people have like other thoughts, I feel like we have enough to get into like at least breaking the acts. Here's a wild pitch. To make it a little bit more modern, do they know each other from like online? And they're in like in a monster like Discord, or they're on, you know what I'm saying? Or they watch
That's
like,
not good modernizing it. Good way
Yeah.
of modernizing it.
and they watch like
They're all friends and they didn't know they were friends.
yeah, basically, yeah. And like the person who, maybe even the person who does the channel is like Rudy. You know what I'm saying? And like they just didn't realize, and he like doesn't like want to acknowledge it to the end. And they're like, wait, you're blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. What do you
Yeah, I
think?
love that.
Yeah.
No, I think that's great.
I'm just trying to like, just in like, and remember too, guys, we're trying to do here is like, there's not like modern incel movies anymore, so we're trying to like figure this out like specifically. So that's a little bit why we're having these like, well, is it like this or is it like that?
We're just doing what any writer's room will do. Just like we're just throwing a bunch of ideas and trying to fit in
Yeah,
the theme we're
some
trying to talk
sticks.
about. So we're just like throwing a bunch of shit out and just like see where it's gonna lead us. Then we're gonna like make the smart decisions and choose the best ones.
Yeah.
Also, as Yusuf said, we were walking into a page one rewrite here.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there was going to be quite a lot of work to do.
Yep,
Well,
absolutely.
speaking of,
We didn't even do like big story pitches. We started with
we had to-
character.
Yeah.
we had to like, yeah, what if this became an annual thing and just like little by little we just do the reboot? Every year we just do a little bit more on this reboot.
That'd be funny.
But let's get into Act 1. So here's my question too. I one other question as we get started. One thing that do we want to keep the German guy? And the reason I ask is because he would now be like 100 years old. Like literally like 100 years old.
Could be his kid. Could be a descendant.
Interesting. That's interesting. I've met Holocaust survivors and they're literally like 100, like literally 100 years old.
Yeah.
So,
Fair. A descendant of one, so he might know how this is.
I got an
Or-
outrageous pitch.
Okay.
yeah, lay it on us.
He could be a Nazi. I know monsters, and then he is the monster. If you wanted to go in the other direction with it.
It's interesting.
Neo-Nazi. I mean, that's interesting. My wild pitch was he's from Gaza, so
Ooh, that's really good. I like that better because that's
Well,
closer to
here's-
honoring what I like that.
What it was going for. Yeah, that's a good point, Brian.
Yeah.
And so Yusuf, in the spirit of that we're gonna have to recalibrate the magic a little bit, like, and
Mm.
I'm totally down with that. Do you mind? Because I forgive me, I'm not super familiar. Are there some sort of like mystic magic sort of things that we could like Middle Eastern traditions that like we can like play off of that we can thread through that? Because that's it's so like I like that, and if we're going to do
That's a
that,
good
I would
point,
like to
Phil.
do that. I would like to do that correctly.
Yeah, I mean there are, but here's the thing about like even like watching this movie is like, oh, everything's written in German, right? So it's like
Yeah.
we could take any kind of poetic spell we can and just like have it be in Arabic, you know? So I still think it could still work out.
Yeah.
The most interesting thing when it comes to like Arab mysticism in general, it all relates back to Islam, believe it weirdly enough. So everything could like stem from that. Everything could also be written in Aramaic since like Hebrew and Arabic stems from
Mhm.
that like language. So it's
Yeah.
like that's the thing as well. So everything's written in Aramaic and like we gotta find, and the girl, the friend's sister is like, she's 16 but she's starting college, because she's that smart and she's starting her class in Aramaic at the university. I don't know.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic.
Are there any like sort of like objects that we can like instead of it being like is like what would like a magical object be, I guess, that like cuz or would it still just be a book? Yeah, just like
Could we
within like
tie it to Gilgamesh, maybe? Because doesn't
oh, that'd be
Gilgamesh come from
fun.
that region?
Yeah, totally, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's fun trivia for everyone. So Gilgamesh is the king of Uruk, but the actual pronunciation is Uruk, which sounds a lot like Iraq. So the name Iraq came from Gilgamesh's kingdom.
Oh, interesting.
So that's why it's called the way it is because of Gilgamesh. So the interesting thing I also want to point out is how like language is so permanent to like Arabic culture and Arabic mysticism in general. So
Mhm.
like, less so objects and more so like runes would be like the bigger thing, right?
That's fine.
So
Yeah.
like it could I won't say like a tablet per se, but it could just be like a piece of stone with like one Akkadian ruin on it, and there's like this one particular word could be the thing they need to like prevent it from happening.
Well, if we do that too, like the person who can read Arabic, they could be somebody. If we're doing this in modern day, they're like it's post 9/11, so like they studied. You know what I'm saying? Like they studied Middle Eastern culture.
Hmm.
And we can kind of play off of that and like kind of even like even though that came from like a fucked up colonial place, like turn it into a positive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm that's cool to me. Like a rune is that's tight. The closest they get to the Middle East in the original one is they have a, a mummy from Egypt
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
who still looks like a white mummy. It's funny. I've seen pictures of like actual mummies now, and they're like, "Oh yeah, those are definitely like black people." And then you
Yeah.
see this one, it's like, "Yeah, it's just a white guy in bandages." So,
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there. I know we're doing a movie, but I was also thinking like this could be the premise of a show where it's more like Monster of the Week. And Anubis was going to be, until I learned what this was, Anubis was going to be one of the monsters I was going to pitch.
Mm.
I'm open to it as a series, to a series or mini series, and I'm also open to putting in new monsters. So that doesn't bother me at all. I wouldn't make it Anubis. I'd make it Set because he's the like god of darkness. Anubis is just
Yes.
kind of like the underworld deity. Like Set
Yeah.
is like actually like the god of darkness and chaos.
Yeah, he literally tries to kill Ra like every single night.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like Anubis too, actually. So it still works
I
aesthetically.
know, right? It's like, come on, you're stealing my vibes, bro.
Yeah, it's like literally he looks like Anubis, but it's
Real quick, Phil, we threw out some ideas for the sake of this exercise. Are we thinking about this as a film or as a show
how does
for
how
this
does the room
draft?
feel?
We can always change it.
Of course. How does the room feel about that? I'm
I
kind
kind of
of
want to stick with the movie
okay.
because I feel like it could still be its own little solid thing, or it could be a backdoor pilot. It starts off a movie, then all of a sudden it becomes a series.
Mhm.
And they just start busting monsters.
All right, then.
Brian,
So I think
Brian,
we
your
want to.
thoughts? You
Um,
like I said, I'm open. I could go either way at this point.
I think it could go either way. I think that you could have a really strong standalone film here. There is some interesting stuff that I think we can do in a series because I would like to see the kids eventually get powers and be actually formidable against the monsters. But that is a much later down the road conversation, and also you can do that in the film version as well. I just
Sure.
that those are my thoughts of that.
Okay, so then we'll just say what we're doing as a film would it look towards those sorts of things as developments, potentially even in the film. That makes sense to me. They're formidable with the monster. They know how to handle a monster with a gun.
With
I know
a
what
gun.
you know what beats monster?
The gun
A
the
gun.
cops didn't know how to use.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
That's real. That's real. Huh? Okay, so I guess like I feel like we start in the chat room, whatever the hell it is, and they're just like talking about monsters. And like maybe we can start on like the school bus or something like that. And like then you go and like there's one kid who's just like sitting by themselves. And it's Sean, and he's like just on his like phone, like in a Discord talking about monsters.
I like that. He's isolating himself. He doesn't realize that's what he's doing.
Right.
That works out really well for me.
Yeah. And then like some of the kids like with him, they like steal his phone, and they're like, "What are you doing, faggot?" And he's. Yeah, I do think they call
maybe
him
Can
like-
a
name, though.
teacher intervene at this point?
No, man, this is movie
Nah.
world. Teachers never intervene in kids'
Yeah,
affairs.
the teachers are like cheering him on. They're still like, I ain't getting paid enough for this.
In fact,
Yeah,
one of
one
the teachers
teacher's-
actually on Reddit and like calling him like that for the whole time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's not. But
I don't
he's
want to
like-
be this true to the source material.
He's like one of the teachers is like, should we intervene? Is like that kid's gonna come to school with an AK. Do you want to be the one who stopped him? Yeah, that's real.
Oh my god!
They're like, why are we? And they're like, why are we smoking on a school bus? We're millennials. It's like, whatever, dude. Like we're cool millennials.
I thought that pitch was going to be two teachers talking to each other. Should we intervene? Why would we help that F slur? I thought that's what you were going to pitch for a second.
Nah, I like to mix it up every once in a while, and there'll be plenty. There'll be plenty enough time for that.
Oh man.
Yeah, I do like that the school. Yeah, the bus driver can like, all right, go to the go. They're like, all right, you kids need to knock it off, right, and get a taste of the hickory switch. And then he's like, and then the bus driver is like it's your fault. It says to like Sean, it's your fault too. For some reason, the bus driver
Yeah.
also blames Sean. just like shiz on him. Like he started it, and it's like, yeah, but you fought back, so that makes you equally bad to the person who was picking on you, just like in real life.
As a teacher, you do not want kids escalating like that. Just saying.
So there you go.
Yes.
Then
yes.
we'll put that in. Put that in the outline.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That
we have
works
to
for
put it
me.
in now.
Yeah, that works for
I'm
me.
just saying,
yeah,
like,
that don't bother me.
If he did escalate in like if they said something mean and then he said something repulsive, yes, the second kid would also be in trouble. But
Yeah,
so
that
like
don't bother me.
it could
Yeah,
be like
if that's legitimately a thing that would happen, and there's like actually a responsible way to do that, that works for me. Then let's put that in. That works.
I've had it several times where it's just like, I don't know, like a kid's making fun of your shoes, and then you decided to say that's why your dad left. Like, that was not proportionate fire.
That's hilarious.
And I had to explain that to them.
That's hilarious. Dude, damn.
That was not proproportionate. So yeah,
Oh
he
my
could
god,
pop
this is how
off.
we're gonna. No, that's how we're gonna start like the whole like motivation stuff that I was talking about earlier. It's like
Mhm.
he's bullied, and he was just like, "Well, your shoes suck," and the other kid is just like, "Well, that's why your parents are gonna get a divorce," you know, and that like,
Yeah, I like that because that's him projecting too. You're saying the other kid is saying that about
yeah,
him.
the other
Oh,
kid tells
I-
Sean that his parents are getting a divorce because you suck as a kid, and that like just ingrained in his
Yeah.
mind.
I
Damn.
do like how Phil interpreted it though, as the projection. I think doing a little switcheroo on that would be really cool.
Let's do that though. He's like projecting. He's like that's why your dad left with those cigarettes. What is he? Did he ever come back with those cigarettes? Like, no, I'm very sensitive about it. And then the kid just like slugs him basically. And then the phone should
Yep.
crack, and like the phone should be cracked for like the rest of the movie, and like. And he's like, we should even have a scene with his parents later. And he's like, sure, like they broke my phone. He's like, well, you're just gonna have a broken phone. Like, I really am busy. And then like we hear like his parents yelling and stuff like that. I see that they're like not giving him like attention. No, like seriously, like they're
Yeah.
not like focusing
Yeah.
in on him because they're going through their divorce.
Yes.
Like, take
I
care
like
of your
it.
sister. Stop whining. Take care of your sister. We're gonna get the taste of the hickory switch. Any adult should, even though they're all millennials, they should just, whenever they're mad at a kid, they should say, "Yo, or you'll get a taste of the hickory switch."
My God.
Okay, so then should we be checking in on the monsters at this point and figuring out why and how they're coming together?
Yeah. So we see this kid's life, not that great, kind of sucks, whatever.
Let's just do like a cameo of like Joe too. She doesn't have to say anything, but like let's have a cameo
Yeah.
of Joe, and then we'll go like you can see that she's like, yeah, this kid got what was coming to him. Yeah, then let's go to the monsters. I'm with you.
Okay, so Dracula's likely still going to be the leader, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But so let's go with the idea like every 100 years the monster showed up, whatever. So like whatever they screwed up in the past, like they didn't complete the spell or the ritual or whatever. Like that's the thing I'm confused with, right? It's like how did Dracula come back? Or why 100 years? What prevents
there's, like,
Dracula
no
from
reason, yeah.
yeah, like not like doing his reign of terror the next day after Van Helsing
Well,
failed, right?
let's do it this way. How about this? How about forget that whole 100 years thing? Maybe instead Van Helsing did succeed. He was able to get these magical chains to wrap around Dracula's coffin and he couldn't escape, but then we just see the chains break and now he wakes up and then he goes to summon the rest of the monsters.
Do we want to have like some human breaking the chains, or is it just like the spell only lasts for 100 years? That's the
I was
thing.
going with the latter, but I'm open to like, what do we think? Like the cult of Dracula frees him? A crazy bitch that wants
No,
to
you
be
know what?
bit?
Now I think about the latter thing. I think we might get too like layered with our symbolism and our messages, but I keep thinking how like the previous generation keeps fucking the newer generation over. So it's like when Van Helsing like did the spell, I'd be like, oh, he'll be fine for 100 years. Not my problem anymore. It's gonna be the future's problem.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that fits with I do think that fits with like with the concept of like the kids having to stand up. So yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay, and then him going to like do actual rituals to get the other 4 monsters would justify like why they listen to him now.
Yeah, that's true. He like
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
does his little recruiting spree, stands atop of a swamp, goes to Egypt or the museum.
I mean, for the swamp thing, like he could just like have a bunch of jars on his wall, walks by them, takes one, drops the little embryo in the swamp, and then swamp monster
it's
grows.
fun.
Yeah,
That's
that's
fun.
very alien.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so let's say he gets swamp thing first, and then the swamp guy goes and starts acting like Jaws. And now it's on the dad's radar, the detective. That now we get to the motivation of how the kid's getting involved because the cases are causing the divorce.
Yeah.
So the swamp guy can be our activating mechanism to get Sean in play.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be like he goes to the case. I could also see a scene coming back and like, or he overhears what happened. So he's telling his dad, like, no, dad, it's monsters. It's like, no, son, it's not monsters. It's just some crazy guy killing people in the swamp because that's where they all live.
I mean, hey man, it's
This is what it is.
now get out of here. You'll get a taste of the hickory switch. Maybe the Wolfman is like a descendant of wolf people. And so like Dracula like he's playing off the sort of like he's a Hulk, like he doesn't want to be like this thing. So it's almost like generational like trauma.
What about this?
Oh my God, we're making this so layered. I love it.
I
the
think I got a
the
good
first
pitch
one
for
is
this.
just like don't be a pussy. Like that was the layer.
Yeah, that was the layer. This was just like, fuck, like our parents are screwing us over and you incels gotta treat people better. Like you need a community.
The werewolf has a medicine that he was able to develop that stops him from transforming under the full moon. And Dracula not only takes the medicine from him, he like gives him like a speech of like, you are repressing your true side, your manhood, your strength with these artificial things that you created and like poisoning yourself and like because how they reject medicine and things like that.
Yeah,
and
live up to your legacy. Yeah, no, I love that. He's like
Yeah.
weird. It's like weirdly eugenicsy. Yeah, I like that.
So that'll be how he coerces
Don't take your meds.
You are a superior race. You're the superior race. You don't need this.
Right, you're a hunter.
And that justifies how he gets to the jail and starts saying, you need to lock me up. You need to lock me up now. And he only listens to Dracula when he's in monster form.
Yeah, I like that.
And then also, he doesn't need to die because the kids can get him his medicine back.
No, I think he just gets killed. I still think he gets murdered and thanks him. No, I'm kidding. No, I agree. He should get his medicine back.
Okay, well, that's really, really cool and fun. I wasn't expecting Wolfman to develop quite that well. That's awesome.
He says, right, this is very layered, far more than the original. So I feel like the next thing we need to do is, like, I do think we have the bully scene with, like, the Wayne from the Wonder Years. And, like, maybe it's like school is over and he's like, and, like, Joe comes up to Sean and is like, and like she kind of explains to him like, oh, what you should have done is this and this and that. And he's like, leave me alone, you friggin' brain. I feel like this scene can play the same. And then Rudy like shows up and just like dispatches like the bullies and they're like, thanks. And he's like, get out of my face. And he like leaves instead of like wanting to be friends with them. He's like, leave me alone. Or you know what? Or maybe it's a different thing. Maybe we don't have the bully scene yet. Maybe they're walking by the bleachers and like Rudy's there just like smoking. He's like smoking cigarettes. He's just like, what do you do? Get out of here.
Well, that can come over here where we can get snapshots under school life and just see snapshots of everyone through Sean's eyes.
I like that. And like maybe we see Horace here. They're picking on like Horace. I don't feel like they stand up. Like I don't feel like they're there for Horace in this instance. I feel like we see Horace later, and he's just like we kind of reckon with like, yeah, I saw you like seeing me get picked on. Like screw you, kid. Screw you guys. And they're like, well, we're sorry. We'll be better.
I like that, Phil. I like that.
Then do we go to Sean's home life and we see that he's like the case and all of that?
Yes. This would be like the talking, the fighting about Dad's work-life balance. Sean decides to investigate in hopes of saving the marriage. Okay, I think this is the first point. Then so Dracula's still going to be doing his thing in the background, getting the rest of his team together. Sean's going to go investigate the swamp monster and be completely in over his head.
That's fun.
Yeah, it goes back to his dad. It's the monster. Shut up, kid. And he's like, well, now I got to handle this myself. So beginning of Act 2, he's going to get the team together.
Yeah, that gets us an Act 2. That works really well. Sean begins getting a team. And then what's also interesting about this, even though we didn't do it on purpose, is like he's a step behind Dracula because Dracula has an act ahead of him getting a team together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
So there's a fun little parallel there. I don't know how much symbolic it does,
but like kind of I want like kind of the point I was bringing back earlier is like how each of the kid he's like trying to recruit to his team has been affected by a monster from Dracula.
Yeah,
and is
I agree.
So like one kid got affected by the mummy that Dracula freed, or one kid got affected by the werewolf, that Dracula's taking control of.
Yes,
so
I do like that idea.
So that's how he's like recruiting his team.
Yeah, I love that. Like he's like following in tow, and like and that's how he gets in contact with.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so who do we think is going to be affected by the swamp monster? I guess it has to be Joe, even though I changed her name to Izzy when we switched, but we can keep it Joe.
Hilarious.
Yeah, Joe goes both genders. Joe's a gender neutral name, in fact.
Yeah. Okay. Either one works. So it has to be her, though, right?
I like Joe. Yeah. I like Joe, especially because we're saying the swamp monster is like biological, and she's like the intelligent one. Mm-hmm. Maybe she's a little bit on the spectrum too. What do we think?
Yeah, I like that. She could be there trying to study it.
Yeah, that's
like you can't hurt this thing. It's a new creature.
Yeah, right. He's like, "Fuck you, Greta Thunberg."
That's funny, but you know what I kind of like? And we'll see if you guys are open to this. I wouldn't mind her saving the swamp thing or taming it and actually like being correct. Because one of the things I didn't like about the movie is that it's black and white, good and evil thing. I mind Dracula being the only actual evil one.
I'm open to that as well.
Yeah, I also felt like that was the idea with the Frankenstein monster was like, they could be good,
Yeah.
Just wasn't executed well.
Like Dracula's just a bad person. And
Yeah,
but like
Dracula
what
sucks.
the
Yeah,
mummy's
Dracula
thing
sucks,
could,
but the mummy. Yeah, well, you read my mind. Like, what makes the mummy redeemable?
he could just want to rest. Stanley.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. I do like that.
I'm
It's like
sorry,
I was a
Stanley.
king.
He just wants to rest. My time on this plane should have been over.
Right, I was a king, and now I gotta listen to this
Yes.
asshole. This some vampire.
I ruled kingdoms. What did you do, Dracula? I lived.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, that'd be really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, I like that. No, because like I feel like the movie was like trying to, and maybe Shane Black's version did that, but like I feel like the movie was trying to do that. So and that's a really astute observation to make that like the point.
I do have like another 10 minutes, so
Okay, I mean we can just do broad strokes and get us speed run our way to Act 3. We got cool shit here. I think we got a good
Yeah,
video.
Yeah.
we get the gang together. Like I feel like there's, we work on stuff like everyone learns their
Well,
thing.
let's pair the rest of them. Like, who do we think would be So, Kari is with Frankenstein. We know that. Izzy
Yeah.
gets the Swamp Thing. Who's
Right.
Horace getting paired with? Who's Rudy getting paired with?
Horace could be the
Sweet.
mummy. Not because because now her name's Horace. but
I do
mean,
like
because-
that. No, I do like that his name is.
yeah, let's stick with that.
I do
Horace
like
gets
his
the
name
mummy.
is Horace. Yeah, I do like Horace gets the mummy because that's.
Oh my god! Like, since Horace is like a dancer now, like sees a mummy's like moves, so it's just like, oh, that's a neat move. Just like,
And the mummy could teach him how to stand with pride. Like,
yeah.
you're a
yeah.
king too.
Yeah, I like
Act
that.
Oh,
like
yeah,
it.
that's true.
Demand their respect.
He could
Yeah.
even learn. The mummy
Yes,
could
the
even learn
bullies
his. The mummy could
Go on.
even learn his name is Horus and be like, oh shit, because Horus is the Egyptian god of kings. So like that
Yeah.
that actually like fits
Ooh.
well together. Yeah.
Yeah, he can teach him how to like demand respect, how to carry
Yeah.
himself, regardless of how you're being treated. Carry yourself like a king,
Mm.
Yeah.
which kids
And I-
need to learn.
They do. And I do like Rudy being with the werewolf because I do feel like there's a scene where like Rudy just shows up with a black eye. Like a black
yeah.
eye. Not and so he probably has like a up home life. So like it's
His can be
They
about
work-
controlling rage.
yeah, exactly. Just like the
Mm-hmm.
Wolfman. So like it works. That's perfect, Brian. Yeah. So it's exactly
Mhm.
that's how theirs work together. Wow. Could you imagine if they had actually put this in the into Monster Squad?
And so the only one that, and so I guess, I mean, okay, so symbolically then, okay, so then here would be my pitch.
Yeah, and
Symbolically,
Sean is Dracula because they're both the leaders, and one's a bad leader and one's a good leader, or learning to
Well,
be a good leader.
Yeah, and well, Dracula can be who Sean is or will become if he doesn't make correct choices.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I think that's great. Wow. Wow, this is
Maybe at the
layered.
beginning, like he's trying to manipulate the team, like he's not being a leader. He's just trying to like do deals or like get leverage on them, and then he learns that that's what Dracula is doing, and he doesn't want to be Dracula.
Yeah, when the Dark Night of the Soul moment, we can even have Dracula be like, "No, we're the same, you little cocksucker."
we're replacing bitch with cocksucker. Great, love it.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Fuck you and
Join
those pussies
me.
that you hang around with. Join me. Well, my friends are cool. My friends are cool.
I recognize Drive when I see it. I know
like
what
that.
you're
Yeah, he
capable
like
of.
cards. I like that.
You can be me. You should be me. Just
love
join
that.
me.
Yeah.
As
You're
you
not
roll through
defeating my
galaxy.
team. We're too strong. You could choose immortality. The concerns of your parents, this divorce, all of it, it's meaningless in the face of what I can offer you.
I love that. Yeah. If you like monsters, welcome. Welcome, mods. Welcome.
Yeah, be one of us.
You're a monster. Yeah.
Choose-
You're
Join
a
us.
monster too.
The
Look
world
what
is
you
a
have done.
monster. Choose infamy. It will take everything from you, but at least leave your mark, which again ties into the incel thing of what they end
I
up
love that.
doing
I love that.
Mhm.
I love that.
and
Yeah,
having
I think
him
that's great.
reject it.
I think that's great.
Well, fellas, by gosh, I think we did it.
And then Sean goes, "That's retarded," and he goes, "Now you're catching on."
Whichever studio has these rights, and if you're listening, considering us, I promise you, I will make sure the slurs are not in the movie.
We won't have slurs.
No, they're gonna be in the movie.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You
No,
said
no,
that.
we'll
I'm
fight for
sorry.
that.
We'll cut them out. I promise I'll work with this team and we'll cut them out. But guys, this is really, really cool. I think we should all be really proud of ourselves. We all brought a lot. We added so much depth into a story that did not have it. I am really, really proud of a lot of the choices that we made here.
Well, and I think that what we did that was really great too is, again, when you're adapting something, when you're doing a reboot, you have to respect the source material, even if you don't agree with it, even if you don't like it. And I do feel like we are respecting what it was while like while adjusting it for modern sensibilities. How about that?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put
But
it
like,
Yes.
I mean,
Page one rewrite.
Yeah, but I mean, one thing, like, and we all know this, like, when a script starts, I'm sure there's always something great about the script, like that when it first, nobody buys a horrible script at first. It's just like through the development cycle, production, it just like things keeps making changes for whatever reasons. Then it's the movie we got, so it feels like it had a good foundation, and we saw the foundation, and we just like build upon.
I agree.
The stuff we saw. So much to your point, Phil, like we were still keeping true to the source material. We just like saw the things that were missing or got cracked through the production process, and we just try to make it.
But in addition to that, like you also brought a lot of like your background to really enrich it. Phil, you're honing in on the incel angle and like building the story to like really fit that narrative. You guys brought a lot to this that really made it far more interesting and compelling. So great job tonight, both of you.
And to you too, Brian. I mean, keeping it on track and like pitching deviations, like saying like where can we deviate so that we could like figure out what it looked like. And by the way, it was only like a brief part of it, but like your understanding of children, like from your experiences of being a teacher, like it really does kind of like hone it back in.
Thank you. Well, a great night, fellas. This was a very successful writer's room. I actually would be very interested in continuing this story to script. I think like we got some really cool stuff here.
All right, let's do it. Let's call them up. We got a great thing.
You're like, listen, faggots. Listen, faggots. We got a pitch.
Like a slap yourself on the table. Listen.
And they're like, great. And it's like that's how you take charge.
Yeah, that's how you get attention.
I like the kid. I like this kid.
I haven't had a pitch like that since the 80s. And this was a real go-getter.
Here, he just like opens, it's like, well, we can finally use this. He just opens the drawer. It's just full of cocaine.
It is time.
Are we back?
I've been waiting for this for
We're back. We're so back.
So, yeah, great job, guys. Really good stuff. This is fun. Like, we turned it into something real. Very cool.
Absolutely.
Thank you all.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, no, thanks for coming on, Yusuf.
Thank you for stepping in.
Through your Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you came in a pinch, and we really appreciate you. And thank you for relaying your trauma.
Always.
But without further ado, my little monsters, pencils down. Great job, guys.
Remember to put your notes and pitches in the comments, and we'll read our favorites on next week's show.
And hey, while you're at it, why don't you hit that subscribe button? Let's build this community together. Oh, also, the bell icon's there, so why don't you ring my bell so that you never miss any updates?
And the like button too, Phil. That's important.
Oh, right, yes. Thank you, Brian.